Welcome to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Katerina. This is a podcast for women who are ready to break free from the 9-to-5 and confidently create a blended life that feels free, fulfilling, and fully aligned. Here, we're all about building a lifestyle that fits you, combining business, career, family, passions, and purpose into one beautifully unboxed life. Through mindset shifts, inspiring stories, and real conversations, you'll learn to live and lead fearlessly. Tune in for solo episodes and interviews with women doing life and business their way, boldly, creatively, and without apology. If you're desiring time freedom, financial freedom, and the freedom to live with purpose, you are in the perfect place. Hello. Welcome back to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur podcast. It is September, one of my favorite months of the year, probably because it's my birthday month, but I do love September. I think it's because, when we were growing up, school started in September. Now, I didn't like school, but there was something about September. We always went shopping for, a new outfit or two for the first day of school, the first week of school. You had your new school supplies and your new backpack, and you had your classes, and you were going to see your friends again. And so I think there's just like this energy around September, right? The season is changing. It's getting cooler. It's becoming autumn. Now, here in Texas, it doesn't get too much cooler, but I did go outside today and it was around 60, 70 degrees when I went outside. So that feels amazing. Now it's 90 a few hours later, but still that early morning cool, like, oh, okay, we're getting to pumpkin spice season, which I don't like pumpkin spice. I do like pumpkin spice, not lattes though. But it's sweater weather, it's boot weather, it's scarf weather, it's cozy season weather. There's just something about September that says a refresh, right? A new beginning. I feel like, during the summer, it's less, you're just kind of going with the flow in the summer. You're just like, oh, summer's like the laid back season. You're kicked back, you're relaxed, you're playing, you're having fun in the sun, you're going on vacations, and you're kind of uninspired, you're kind of on hold. But now it's September, right? Kids are back to school. Adults are refocused on moving forward. Traffic is heavier because everybody's going to work and they're not on vacation all the time. It is back to business season. And I feel like the theme of this season feels like reconnecting to your vision, your goals, your dreams. And it's when you start setting the intention to move forward toward your dreams every single day. It just marks a fresh start, a perfect time to realign with your life and business goals after all those summer months. Whether you've lost momentum or you simply need like a reset, this is your opportunity to recharge and refocus on your dreams. Just like, okay, and we're just gonna start over. And it's okay if you feel like, you got off track. Maybe you're listening to this and life has just been lifing. Maybe since January, when you initially set your year, your New Year goals, life has just been heavy, or things have happened and the unexpected have happened. The universe sent you some plot twists, and maybe you're feeling disconnected to your dreams and your action plans. I just want to say it's not too late to jump back in and reconnect. We set these arbitrary goals of like, I'm going to set my goals for New Year's, and by next year at this time, I want all these magical things to happen. But there isn't a deadline, right? There isn't a timeline. There's not, an expiration date. Your dreams don't expire. They don't have, a sell-by date. There's not like, oh, if I don't reach it by the end of the year, I failed. No, you're not too late. You're not missing out on anything. It's always a process of reconnecting and recommitting every time you kind of lose the momentum. So here we are in September. Let's just do it. Let's reconnect to our dreams, reconnect to our goals. Let's start fresh. So here I'm going to give you some tips today on what to do to just reinvigorate your life, your business, everything. So every time we start to set our goals, I always say the first thing to start with is assessing and reflecting on your current status, your current progress. Where are you now? And it just gives you just a roadmap to start with, right? But if you're going to put something into GPS, it needs to know where you are now. It's not just like, oh, here's where you want to go, and it maps out 700 routes, right? No, it's this is where we are now, and this is where we want to go. So we have to know. We have to know, but we also have to know ourselves, because a lot of times, and we'll talk about this, we keep taking action and move forward to a goal that may not even be a goal we want anymore. So this is where we're going to reflect on our goals, celebrate our wins, acknowledge the areas where, we kind of drifted off track a bit. And it doesn't matter if you've lost momentum or you want to do totally different things right now. This is a refresh. So let's get to reflecting. So take a moment to grab your journal and journal about your progress. Journal about where you are right now, where things that you've accomplished recently, identify things that are working, and identify things that need improving or completely need changing. And this will set the stage to prepare you to create the roadmap. What you have now, where you are now, it's given you so much of what you need to take the next step, no matter what that next step is. So let's just gain some perspective and awareness so you can be strategic and efficient with, you're getting your clarity and your confidence and, moving forward from here. So just reflect on that. Think about, where are you right now? Are the things you have right now in your life and business what you want? Have you, we've changed so much. Think about from January to September. Life happens and we change so much, which means, we might change our minds. And that's okay. I thought about this recently. I was online dating back in the spring, April and May, and I went on a few dates and I was talking to a few guys. And honestly, the other day I was thinking about it, and I don't online date right now because it's a horrible experience for me. I don't like it. But what I was thinking about is like those guys that I dated and had horrible experiences with in, April and May, Katerina now, which is only how many months later, would never make those mistakes again. Okay, why was I even thinking about talking to these guys? They are nothing like what I want in my life. And that was a realization, like how much I have changed in just 4 months. That's how much we grow. And so where you are right now, this is like creating a refresh, because who you are now is totally different than who you were in January. So you're going to start fresh with a new plan. It's okay if your goals changed. We're human. If you want to shift your focus, if what you desired in January no longer resonates with you, okay, perfect. That's information you have. You may have a vision for your business and the lifestyle you desire to lead, or I should say you may have had it, right? But now you might find that you want to structure your business differently. You want to offer different things. You want to market your business differently. You want to work a different amount of hours per week. Maybe you don't want your business at all. Maybe you want to totally pivot into a different industry. Maybe you want to go back to school or go back to 9 to 5. Whatever it is, maybe you've noticed it shifted and changed. That's okay. This is where you get to decide what is right for you in this moment. And then you get to create a plan around that. So the next step after assessing and analyzing, where you were, is we're going to create the strategic plan for what you actually want right now. So revisit that vision. Go make a totally new vision board. I just did this a few weeks ago. I made a whole new vision board. Some of it hasn't changed. I was shocked. Actually, some of it I already accomplished, so I took that off and added new goals. I didn't add too many more because I'm still aligned with what I wanted back in last year. So create a new vision board. Create a new who do you want to be? And allow yourself to change your mind or allow yourself to revisit your goals, dust them off, and be like, yep, I still want this. Also, set your priorities. So we're in September, we're about to go into a new quarter. I always like to plan in quarters, so it's just less daunting. Than going out and being like, let me set my whole year 5-year goal. Like that's just a lot of pressure, right? As I just said, we change a lot in a number of months. So what are your priorities from now until the end of the year? A new plan means you have to know what those priorities are that are right for you right now to go out after. And, some of the things you want to create, maybe it's not a priority right now. Maybe you have a lot of other things that are pressing. Maybe you're being pulled in more directions on your personal life or an area of your life versus your business. So maybe you have some less business goals, so you do have personal goals. You get to decide what's a priority for you in this moment in time. So identify those key priorities you want to focus on for these last few months of the year. And then you're going to break those down into actionable tasks that can be tackled weekly and monthly. And I like to say don't choose more than 3 priorities. I know that's kind of hard, but you can go all in and focus your attention, time, and energy to have a bigger impact when you're just focusing on 3 things versus 5, 6, 7 things. You don't want to be too overloaded with your goals, or what happens is you might be making small progress in each area, but you're not really seeing the results you desire to see in the next few months. So think about the things that you really want to focus on that are going to move that timeline, have the biggest progress in those months. That's realistic. The other thing is you want to assess your current activities. So take a look at your current to-do list and eliminate the tasks that aren't essential to your top goals. So those goals you just identified. We're human, right? And we tend to get caught up in doing things repeatedly. And I did this in my business for years. And then when my dog passed away, I think you all know that I took a pause in my business. And that pause really opened my eyes. It was kind of like I had tunnel vision and I didn't look up and ask myself if what I was focused on was going to bring me closer to what I really wanted. I was just head down like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. Like on repeat. I was posting on Instagram. Was getting no traction in my business, but I never looked up and said, I don't really like posting on Instagram and it's not bringing me any clients. So why am I doing that? Why am I spending time on that? Or, things in my life or things I thought I should do or responsibilities. We sometimes feel like we have to do them until we give ourselves permission to analyze if we have to do them. And so this is a great time to reassess your activities and, simplify your workload. Figure out, are there things you can delegate? Are there things you can stop doing? What will make it easier to focus on what matters most? And sometimes, we just get lost. We get lost in the overwhelm and we're trying to keep all the balls in the air and we can't. And we don't allow ourselves to say the words, I can't keep all the balls in the air. I cannot do it all. And this is where you give yourself permission to put down some of those balls and to be like, okay, these are things that can't be a priority right now. And, I keep thinking personally, like, oh, I want to join a book club. I don't have the bandwidth right now to join a book club. I just finished a book that I've been reading for 4 or 5 months. I started a book back in, I don't remember, in the spring that I had been trying to read for years. Sometimes you just can't take stuff on, and sometimes you just have to say no for something, and it could just be a no for a while, or it could be no for you put it down, you're like, oh, I never want to do that again. Wow. So simplify, streamline, and simplify. And also, now it's time to create your detailed action plan. And as you've heard it before, I say it, a goal without a plan, it's just a dream. It's just a dream. But if you want the dream to become a reality, you need to plan for it. So this is where you need to map out how you're going to get to that quarterly dream. Again, let's just think from now until December. And this starts with setting goals. Take time to map out the next steps you need to take your goals to the next level, take the momentum to the next level, take your action plans to the next level. So think about those 3 big goals you have and now break them down. You want to create a personal and business strategy that feels so aligned with you, with where you are now and the vision you want to go out after, where you would desire to be. And it's important to be honest with yourself about what you truly want and what isn't working for you so that you can find the right action items that are going to take you there. And you have to make them SMART goals. And I resisted SMART goals for a really long time. I think sometimes too like rigid or scientific or whatever makes me like, well, I don't want to do it that way. But honestly, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely goals make it so much easier for you to attain them. If they're attainable, if you can see that they can happen, you're more apt to be motivated to keep taking action, and you'll be more confident because you can get there than if you have these arbitrary goals. There's nothing like if you have a goal that you're like, oh, I just want any clients. I did this in the beginning of my business. I was like, I'll just be happy with any clients. But then there was nothing to strive for, right? If I wasn't saying, oh, I want this many discovery calls and this many clients, like when I had something specific and I said, okay, I want 10 discovery calls this month and I want 4 clients this month, I can then say like, okay, then my brain went, well, how are you going to get the clients? What do you need to do to get the clients? What do you need to do to get people on the call? But if you're just putting out there like, I want any clients, I just want to work with people, right? There's no action item. You can't really define the action item, right? Like, well, what does that mean? Like, how do you work backwards from that? I'll put this in the description of the podcast, but I have my free Becoming Quarterly Journal and Planner. I use this myself. I love this. It is everything you need to stay on track. And so it has journaling questions to help you with all of this that we're talking about right now. It has, work pages for your yearly goals, your quarterly goals, your monthly goals, your weekly goals, your daily goals. Plus it has journaling pages for every single day of the quarter for you to help with your mindset. So it combines the strategy and the plan with your mindset building. And so it's fantastic. It's free. It's digital. You can download it. I'm telling you, the journaling itself, night and day, I can tell if I skip my journaling during the day and I don't map out my day in my journal, night and day of what I experience versus like not doing it versus doing it. I get so much more accomplished. I'm happier. I'm more confident. I'm calmer to everybody around me. It really goes a long way. So definitely use that. That'll walk you through all of this. Okay. That is planning. Now let's get to your confidence and mindset. Again, the journal is going to help you so much with this, but let's take it even further. So you have to get your mindset ready for success. You have to set yourself up for success. And I will say this till I'm blue in the face because my clients, myself, everybody around me, it's proven every single day that mindset is everything. A dream and your vision is so important. A plan, totally necessary. But it all can't come to fruition without the mindset to fuel your confidence and give you the energy to actually take the action. So you need to reset. If we're going to reset our goals, we're going to reset our confidence and mindset too, so it all aligns together. So first, practice self-compassion. We are so hard on ourselves, and especially coming out of this summer when maybe we didn't work as hard. You could be really hard. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. I'm not where I thought I wanted to be, January 1st, and from the new year. Just embrace a growth mindset. Everything you go through, every every challenge, every relationship, every conversation, everything is always, always, always giving you the tools to grow. So even if you feel like you haven't moved closer to your goals, it doesn't mean you haven't made progress. Sometimes your progress is internal, like that example of me dating, right? That was no external difference. I just built my confidence so much that I am a totally different person now. If I go on the dating apps now, I'm going to be totally different, right? Same with, I really didn't do much in my business. I did more behind the scenes in my business this summer. But my confidence, I had this whole conversation with my therapist the other day that like my confidence is so different now in my business. Everything is just totally changed just because actually stepped back and focused on some little stuff, and my mindset and my confidence and got to know myself better. My business is totally different now. So just know that even if you can't see the changes that are happening, even if you haven't touched your business in a while, even if you haven't started your business, you have become a different person. Your mindset and confidence is changing. You are moving closer. And once you build your confidence, your business is going to grow as well. Another tip, rebuild your confidence with small wins. Humans are great at like, somebody's getting married and birthdays and I bought a house, like big milestones. But man, set small achievable goals to build your confidence. Start by smelling. Start by celebrating small victories along the way. This is going to motivate you to keep going. If you're constantly waiting for a big celebration, you're going to feel so let down because sometimes those big, big milestones take a long time to come about, but you are always learning and growing every single day. So I tell my clients to get a jar and some slips of paper. I usually try and like do color-coded paper or whatever. And every day, like write down a small win that happened to you. It could be something simple like I sent my email today, or I refreshed my Google My Business page, or I posted on Instagram and somebody liked it, right? It could be so small. But then when you're feeling like progress is slow or your limiting beliefs and fears are kind of taking over and running the show, you can open the jar and read all that you've accomplished. And it just reminds you of like, oh my gosh, I do so much. I learned so much. I am being bold. I'm doing something totally new. Starting a gratitude journaling process. And so in that becoming quarterly journal and planner, you do gratitude every morning. It is such a great way. I'm telling you, when I don't do that practice, I can tell the difference in my mindset. It makes you think of all the great things that are already happening in your life and your business and all the progress you've made. It is so powerful. It's like becomes this new filter that you walk through every day, right? It's so great. Okay. So there you go. Celebrate the small wins. Next, visualize success. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you want to stay connected to your vision, you need to spend time each day visualizing your future success. And I am going to tell you, I take this you might think I'm crazy. You might think I'm nuts. You might be like, ooh, okay, I'm not going to do that, Katerina. I do. I visualize every single day who I am. And it goes down to like, in a relationship, what the guy looks like, how is he talk to me about, if I'm writing a book and we're in a relationship, will he read the book? What will he say about the book? Things like that. I think about speaking on stages. And I picture myself on the stage. And then I go through, what am I talking about? Oh, am I talking about this topic? Oh, what would I say? What would I wear? I visualize it. I visualize me walking out of the condo I want to live in. Walking around the lake I want to walk around every single morning. I visualize today I came out of Pilates and I'm like, oh, I do this every day. I don't have the money for that. I only do it twice a week. But in my mind, I would love to go more times to Pilates. I would love to start my day with a Pilates class. I love it so much. So in my mind, I'm walking out and I'm thinking, oh, I do this every day. I'll be back tomorrow. And I will actually be back tomorrow. But right, you have to visualize it. If you want to see progress towards your vision, you need to align the actions with who you are becoming. You have to know that version of yourself. not with who you are now and what your life and business looks like now. It's who is she? And connecting to that vision just helps remind you of where you're going. And then when you've become that person in your mind, if you do this every morning, and in the becoming journal, there's a journal prompt every morning. It's like, who are you today? What beliefs do you have? What actions do you take? How do you lead yourself? You start to make decisions based off of where you want to be versus how you're feeling right now. And that mental practice can totally strengthen your belief in your ability to achieve your goals. It kind of tricks your mind into thinking, oh, we already have them. We already act as if. So visualization is huge. Next, surround yourself with positivity in order to, reconnect to your confidence in your mindset and take it to the next level. You can't be around the negative Nellies. Surround yourself with positive influences, whether it's, inspiring content or supportive community or affirmations, just to keep your mindset strong. Remember, any goal or dream you go after, it requires you to rewire your entire nervous system, your thoughts and beliefs from the ones that were limiting you, the ones that were holding you back. You have to rewire it so that you can achieve your goals. So when you surround yourself with positive influences, people going out and doing similar things that you're doing, words of wisdom, affirmations, your brain starts to prioritize these thoughts moving forward. I am in the process of trying to find local, and I get very nervous in social situations, extremely nervous. I am not a networker. But I have been researching, and I promised myself I'm going to sign up for local networking events with female entrepreneurs. And I signed up for the Texas Women's Conference. I booked a hotel to go. I'm like all committed. I paid hundreds of dollars for the hotel and the conference because I want to be in the room with those people. And like Nicole Kidman's going to be speaking, so that'll be really cool. But I'm like, if I want my big dreams, I want to be around other people making them happen. And so it can be online groups, it could be listening to podcasts, it could be reading motivational books, whatever it is, just make sure you're surrounding yourself with that positive energy. There's also an article that'll help you in the journal. It's called The 6 Ways to Shift from Scarcity to Abundance Mindset. And that's really good. It really gives you really great tips on like really stepping into that possibilities and growth mindset and rewiring your brain for the limiting beliefs. So I would check that out. But yeah, surround yourself with people that just fuel you, right? That make you want to go after the big things. Okay, so now we've done the planning, the reassessing, we've got the mindset and confidence piece. The next piece is how to maintain the momentum. You want to stay committed to this fresh start that you're taking. So obviously, and most importantly, once you've reset your goals and your mindset, it's so important to stay consistent and committed. Schedule weekly check-ins with yourself. Just to ensure that you're staying on track and you make adjustments as needed. I have a part-time job working for a company or an organization that pairs au pairs with host families. And, we always tell them to have weekly check-ins, right? How are things going? Should we make any tweaks? What's coming up the next week? And those check-ins are really the basis for a really successful match for those families. It's the same thing in your business. You have to do the check-in. So maybe it's every Sunday or every Monday that you check in. You're like, let me reflect on the week. Let me plan ahead. Or maybe in the Becoming Planner, after the week is over, there's a weekly reflections page and you reflect on it. What went well? What brought you joy? And then there's also the weekly planning where you kind of reflect on what you want to happen that week, what you want to accomplish, things like that. Those check-ins go a long way. You want to check in with your vision and your plan. You want to ask yourself, how are you feeling about your goals? What's holding you back? Do they still feel right for you? Do you need to tweak anything? So instead of doing this type of work in December or January and then September, you're doing this consistently. So you won't need the restart, every 6 months. And even at night in that becoming quarterly planner and journal, there's evening questions. How did the day go? What went well? Did I, what habits did I commit to? Whatever. All of that to reflect on every single day. And it just shows you those reflections keep you one on task, one aligned to your goals, keep you connected to your thoughts and your mindset. But it just kind of it keeps you connected to yourself. I think that's the biggest piece. A lot of times we're giving away our life to everybody else, right? We're giving to our employers and our families and our friends, and we're kind of like living in this world of like where we're connected to the external, that we forget to check in with ourselves and build a relationship with ourselves. So those check-ins are, hey, this life is about you. It's right. It's about you. And you're going to focus on you for a little bit. You're going to think about you. You got to decide, are the things you're committing to where you're giving out your energy to everybody else, is that bringing you any closer to the life you want to be leading? And those check-ins will be the aha moments for you. Like, oh, I was so frustrated today because I did this. I really need to cancel that because I don't want to do that anymore. Right? It'll give you, it's like an eye opener where you're giving away your energy that's taking away from the energy that you have for your own life and business dreams and goals. Okay, so obviously I'm telling you the Becoming Quarterly Journal and Planner, so great. It's free. I'm not selling it. It's totally free for you. It's like, it'll just help you stay on track and keep you focused. But I hope this is helpful. I hope this is helpful for your September to get you started, to get you from here until December, maybe reignite that momentum within you. Definitely let me know what you think. Pop me an email or, write me a note in the review section on Apple Podcasts. I don't know if you could do it on Spotify. Let me know what you thought about this episode. And yes, I'll drop the link to the Becoming Quarterly Journal and Planner in the podcast description, or you can go to my website. It is on my website as well. But yeah, that's what I have for you today. Happy September. Again, my favorite month because it's my birthday month. Anyway, I love you all and I will see you all next week. Bye. Hello, lovely. Thank you so much for joining me for the Fearless Female Entrepreneur podcast. I have something special for you today. If you're ready to finally design a life that truly feels freeing, where your schedule and your career, your business, hobbies, and passion projects all blend together into one beautifully balanced, purposeful existence and feels absolutely perfect for you, then you're going to absolutely love my new free resource, the Freedom Lifestyle Designer. It's designed to help you map out exactly what your unique freedom lifestyle looks like, and it'll guide you to integrate every piece of your desired life with clarity and intention. So you can get instant access and start designing your dream life and business by heading over to the link in the podcast description to grab the workbook. And for those of you who are serious about making this freedom a reality, I invite you to book a free 30-minute momentum call with me. Just click the link in the podcast description to book the call, and let's chat about how we can transform your life and business vision into your everyday life experience. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.